Welcome in, everyone, to the Challenge Aftershow. We're talking about The Challenge, Season 37, Spies, Lies, and Allies, Episode 5, and it's called Good Vibes and Gladiator. And, of course, that was a quote in the show from our friend, not really, but a guy on the show, Gabo. So that's why it's
our very close personal friend who's going to be joining us later this episode.
Why would you do that to the people? They're going to be so... Yes, Mr. Popcorn Muscles is going to not be on the show, guys. I'm so sorry. But
let me call him because he's our friend.
Give him a call.
Sorry, dragging that bit way too much. Dragging.
He's in Hungary somewhere. All right, so Jenna, you said that you had like 3 interesting takeaways. The most influential in takeaways you said you've ever thought of, and you wanted to start the show with them. Yeah.
I mean, interesting is being very kind. That's a severe fabrication of the 3 little tiny tidbit overall thoughts that I'm about to throw at you. One is not anything new, but goddamn, how beautiful is Croatia? Every time they show it, the way where this season is, the location is absolutely stunning. And they did get me with the editing last time. My second takeaway was, you were right. The club that they go to, what a sucker I am, that I really thought that the editing, the way they use Croatia and they show the cobblestone streets and they show the town and the villages, that I truly think that they're leaving their home to go out. It is literally just a long hallway.
Yeah.
So I had to realize that tonight. Third is, and if you guys watch us on Patreon, we do have a Patreon account where we do really fun little tidbits and rankings. And last week, Dan and I did our favorite quotes and our favorite one-liners. So I have a brand new favorite one-liner from tonight. You want to guess it?
Well, I have one written down too, and I'm hoping it's the same one as yours. That's hilarious that you said. I don't think it will be.
It's from the Elimination.
Did Gabo say it?
Yes!
We have the same one. I'll say it to you just to see if we have the same one. Oh gosh, where is it?
It's Mike the Situation. Listen to my praying.
Oh, okay. So that's not mine. Mine was from Gabo, and he says, "My arms aren't getting tired; they're just getting pumped." I thought that was hilarious.
I like that too. I like that a lot. But I not only am a massive fan of the Jersey Shore, I will die on this hill forever. You will never tell me there's a better reality TV show than Jersey Shore. It is the Mecca. It is peak. It is reality TV. No other show has ever done it like the Jersey Shore. Also, I'm from New Jersey, so I have a special homage to my people on the show. So the fact that he was like, Mike, the situation, I'm praying, I'm listen to my praying, because I don't know if you remember this, but Gabo said that he learned English by watching the Jersey Shore, right, which is probably the worst way you can learn English, because everybody on that show butchered the English language and also had such a mix of like Jersey, East Coast, New York slang and accents, where it's like, that's the worst place he could have learned how to speak English.
You can't go wrong with a Mike the Situation just appearance on the show. And in fact, for years, Jenna, they pull from Are You the One? They were pulling from the Real World and Road Rules from the beginning. How come they never tried to pull from Jersey Shore? Is it just because they're, I don't want to say too good for the challenge, but they're like on another level because they appeared on so many different seasons of that show that they can't, almost in a way? But I always wanted to see Mike.
I have a 2-point answer to that. Point 1 is, if this was 2010 or 2011 when Jersey Shore was hot, I think Ronnie would probably just beat everybody up. I mean, you could not hold him back. I think a lot of the Jersey Shore people were on steroids, so they would just probably actually physically beat everybody up. They always got into fights. And 2, I think that would just be like a catastrophe of a mashup. Like, imagine Snooki trying to do these competitions. What? Imagine Angelina trying to do these competitions. Like, it would just be so tacky of a mashup. Those 2 shows like don't belong together. They're great in their separate worlds.
And that's fine for you to say that, because I mean, Jersey Shore in 2010, 2011, when they were that hot, they could have taken them and put them on the challenge to maybe bring it up more. But at the same time, what if they got eliminated right away? I don't think they wanted to lose
It'd be a mess. It'd be
the
an
amazing
absolute mess.
the amazingness that is the Jersey Shore. I don't think they wanted to mess with that. But Jenna, you gave me a great idea. If we do a Patreon this week, which we definitely probably want to, why don't we do our favorite reality shows of all time?
Well,
wouldn't that be fun?
Mine's a giveaway. It would absolutely be fun. Yes.
Well, I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure Jersey Shore's on both of our lists, and that's fine. So that could happen. All right. Well, do you want to get into the vignettes this evening?
Let's do little vignettes. Dan's
Yes.
word.
So it starts off, and a little Tori says that it's possible that Michelle and Emmanuel were in love. And I wrote off, there's no way that's true. And my second thought right after that is Tori likes every man in this house. I'm sorry. Tori likes every man in any house ever created that she's in with them. She has a crush on everyone, Jenna. Prove me wrong. Because apparently she likes Emmanuel now.
I think that she is definitely, she's a lover, and I think that she is drawn to a lot of different people and personalities, but I don't always think that she has a plan that will grow to fruition either. Like, I don't think she's always trying to create something with people, but she just has like a magnetic, flirty personality. She just gravitates to a lot of different people. But it's so funny you say that, because I was watching with my fiance and he's like, oh, so Emmanuel and Tori are gonna hook up? There's no way Tori's not gonna hook up with him. And I was like, why do you think that?
Your fiance,
bubbly, I don't know.
He's getting the same vibe I'm getting, but I will say this. I listened to Anissa and Tori's podcast last week, and on the podcast, they had Michelle on like 2 weeks ago or something, and Michelle and Tori seem cool. So if Michelle really likes Emmanuel that much, I don't think she'd be so cool with Tori, but then again, it's more screen time for her to be on that podcast, so maybe they put their differences aside. Who the hell knows? But they seem cool, so maybe no one really cares about Emmanuel besides the fact that he's tatted up and they think he's hot. Maybe that's all it is.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I don't really see Emmanuel and Tori blossoming into anything. I think that was like a 5-second little tidbit. And the editors, I mean, sure, I think Tori is absolutely flirty, but I think it also is on a friendship level. And I think that people perceive it as more than that. And I often think that she gets a little bit of that edit too. Like, it's a little bit of a character that maybe is created, but I don't know.
You don't think they set it up for next week where her and Emmanuel will be dancing at the club that's located in the house, by the way?
You mean that grind line? That was another takeaway, that there was a middle school grind line
There was.
at the club tonight.
Yes, there was.
At least 4 people in there.
And they got low. They got low with that grind. When I was in middle school, I was standing pretty much straight up with the grind. They were bent in it like this.
I was like, oh my God, there's a grind line. There's a grind line.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think I ever participated in a grind line because there would always be a majority of men versus women in the grind line. And I'm sorry, but I didn't feel comfortable.
I thought that you were gonna say, because when I think grind line, I literally think middle school dances, because that's just like all you do at those. And that's what, I guess, the way people are like experimenting in middle school. I thought you were gonna say you never participated in them because there was always like a chaperone or a teacher nearby, because that also always happened.
No, that didn't bother me. I'd wave to the chaperone, but no, I was Jenna, I was a one-on-one grinder in.
Okay, you wanted
in junior
all
high.
to yourself. Okay.
Just one-on-one. I mean, I wasn't efficient enough in the world of women to be able to be like, oh yeah, 2 girls, come right over to me. I know what I'm doing. So that wasn't going to happen. Okay, Josh and Amber talk, and Amber B's just like, I'm tired of being at the bottom of the barrel. She also says this line. I don't know if you caught it, Jenna, but it made me laugh so hard because she didn't quote it right. She says, a fire in my ass, as if to light a fire in my ass. I believe the quote is under your ass. So, but
I'm so glad you said that.
But Amber B wants it right up in her ass, not underneath. She wants the full feel.
I'm so glad you said that, because it caught me off guard too, but I couldn't figure out why. I just took it at face value and I assumed that was the phrase. And I even said to myself, I'm like, why do we say that? Why do us as human beings use that expression? But now I realize that's why, because the expression was off, because I thought the same thing. I was like, wow, why do we say put a fire in my ass? I don't think that would do anything but make us uncomfortable or kill us.
Kill us.
So I don't know why we use that metaphor, but now I understand why. She had a confessional slip up. Happens to the best of us.
The next little scene, I'm going to go back to that scene, but the next little scene they show is Fessy defending himself on his decision. And I thought he made some fine points, but it's kind of what we had also discussed last week, how, you know, he made a move. Who cares? He decided it should be Amber B. He didn't trust Amber B for whatever reasons, and he threw someone in. I didn't mind. So I thought that was nice that they talked about that a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was a little bit refreshing for me to hear from Fessy. It made me understand a little bit more why he made that game move. Although I still feel like Amber has more reason to be mad at Fessy, and Amber was more susceptible to rebuilding that relationship and working together. Fessy still, for some reason, doesn't trust her. And I guess that's the question mark to me is, well, why don't you trust her? But the fact that he doesn't, I mean, that was his night in power. That was his week to win. So if that's his decision, that's his decision. So that was a little bit of clarity for me as well. I get a little bit more now because Casey also has, for her spider senses are telling her not to trust Amber B either. So there must be a little bit something to that. So
and even if there's nothing behind it, if you don't trust somebody and it's just a feeling that you have, who is someone else to take that away from you? I have a gut feeling that I don't trust this person. I'm going to send him in. He had every right to. Like you just said, he was in power that week. So
yeah, and with that being said, I still feel for Amber B, and I'm kind of just like, finally, when she's having this aha moment again, she fell into the trap of trusting Big Brother, and now she's finally realizing, and it's a multi-step process. You know, she could have learned after time one, but she took the bait again. She fell into the trap of trusting them. But I think now she really is taking a step back and saying, okay, I'm done with the Big Brother alliance. So I'm glad to see that kind of come full circle and her finally like realizing she needs to detach from that alliance.
And I'm 100% on team Amber B and Josh versus Casey and Fessy's alliance. I don't really like either of them. Fessy for a million reasons, Casey because I don't think she builds a storyline at all. But so I'm on Amber B's side with all of this too. Just because I like what Fessy did, I'm still on Amber B Josh team for sure. I mean, after all, Amber B and Josh shared that little notebook scene they tried to create of them hugging on the porch. Did you see that? They tried to make it like the Notebook movie.
Did they?
They showed a quick clip and they said,
died at the end because
the people inside with Fessy were making fun of them, saying they were probably recreating a scene from the Notebook and they were just hugging out there. Now, fun fact about the Notebook was filmed in Charleston, South Carolina. Do you know what other show was filmed in Charleston, South Carolina?
Outer Banks, baby!
Outer Banks. And do you know the main character in that show, what his name is?
Jumping!
And who do we have in the scene in the Notebook in this tonight? Amber B. Full circle. Did you see that coming?
I was trying to connect the dots in my head and I was like, John B isn't Josh M, but okay, I guess we can make it if we want to, which we still need to review Outer Banks, because that would be fun.
I would love to. And I believe they're definitely doing a season 3 the way that season 2 ended, but we won't give away the ending of season 2.
Yes. But while we're on the Big Brother alliance situation, it's funny that you say that you're on team Amber B and Josh, which is your opinion and whatever valid point.
But it sucks.
It doesn't. It's your very wrong opinion. No,
right.
I'm just curious about the whole thing because I'm not, to Casey's point, I don't know why Josh is necessarily blowing up his entire game for Amber B. You know, is he really going to get something out of that? Because Amber B, even though she won last season and is a good competitor, I don't know if she has enough social ties that it's worth Josh risking being in a bigger alliance for her.
Even if Josh thinks he made a mistake at this point by choosing Amber B, I don't think he's going to go back on it because he's not that type of guy to go back on who he defended because he is so emotional. How could he possibly forgive Fessy for this? You know what, Fessy, it's okay. Amber B, you're still going to want to work with us, right? He knows if he goes back to Fessy and Casey, he loses Amber B. Amber B won last year. I don't know if that's just in Josh's head, but I also think he realizes that the Big Brother Alliance is 4 people. But if he takes him and Amber B somewhere else, now they're tied up, and all he has to do is get on Devin's side, which we've seen that they're working together. Devin's got Kyle. Devin's got basically all the other vets in the house that like him a lot or think that he can, control the game socially. So I think Josh is making the right decision going on to a bigger alliance. I don't think anyone likes Fessy.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I think when the vets right now, they're still kind of this big unit, but when they start to split up, you're saying Josh can have a better alliance if he goes with other people in the house outside of Big Brother. That's a really good, that's a fair point. So he's starting to himself also disassociate with the Big Brother team, because at the end, it's probably just going to be Fessy and Casey. And I don't know if them alone have enough ties with other people outside of Big Brother, but Josh is now besties with Devin, and Devin seems to have a lot of connections in the game. So maybe through his partnership with Devin, he can get different alliances throughout the game. Also, now that I'm thinking of it, did we see Corey at all this episode?
No.
What the hell was that?
I don't think we saw. And who's Corey's partner? Brittana or
Bettina, and we saw her running back and forth, and it said Bettina and Corey competing in the challenge. Where the hell was Corey?
He was obviously I assume he had to be there. They're working they clearly want everyone to
let his ass out. Do you think something happened?
Oh, you're digging deep there. I think we would have heard about it on one of my challenge social thing, because he's involved with too many MTV shows. I don't think he would do anything dumb like that by saying something wrong.
I don't know if that's what it is, or if he got sick.
I mean, if I go through the list with you, I bet we can find someone else that wasn't shown. But you're right. I mean, Corey literally was not shown. We saw Jeremiah. I'm trying
not for a single second.
Yeah, you're right.
So that his name was there in the lower third, but he was nowhere to be found.
Seriously though, tell us in the comments below if you know anything, because usually you at least see them for a hot second. Hell, I had to see Priscilla like 3 different times tonight narrate the show, because that's all that she can do. She had one little conversation with Big T where she was like, "Yep, it's gonna be interesting what happens with you and Logan." Well, no shit, it's a challenge. But yeah, they let Priscilla narrate tonight. They're like, "We'll give you narrating duties." That was Casey's job the last couple of years. We're gonna give it to you now. I know I'm a jerk, but that's literally what I see when I watch. I'm sorry, but she narrated the show.
Yeah, so I'm very interested with what happened with Corey. I wonder if it was maybe I don't know. I can only speculate, so I don't want to. It was
just because we see Nelson because he's kind of involved with Berna, but I mean, what's Corey's storyline this season? He has nothing right now.
Yeah, but we see him every episode. We didn't see a curl on his head, a little braid walk by, or a tattoo.
Maybe there was a vignette at the beginning of him running real quick, working out. Maybe it was that. We just didn't. We were right, because we were writing notes as we go here. So maybe I just didn't look for 1 second, and that's why I missed it. I don't know.
I just think it's very unusual that this challenge, outside of the math, Sim, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Isn't that our tagline? We always say, we'll get into it. And then we end up just getting into it right here and now. Or never getting into it. You never know with us. We're really good at guiding an after show. But this challenge outside of the math felt like this would be every competitor on the show's dream. This is why they go on the challenge, to do something very physical, do something that has to do with using their body, endurance, some weights with pulling the rope, jumping over walls. This is exactly why they signed up for this show.
It was an obstacle course. It was a straight up obstacle course, Tough Mudder style. You're in the mud. I would have loved to do this, but let's get into the daily challenge. All right, here we go. It's called Minefield, and I did what you asked, Jenna. I watched last week the entire season of Battle of the Exes again for it's probably my 4th time watching it through, but I hadn't seen it in a while, and my God, is that a good season? And you know what I realized about it? What makes it? A lot of it, there's so much to it, but in the daily challenges, Jenna, they let these competitors in teams basically compete by themselves. So us as the viewer, we can focus on each team and what they did individually. The issue with this Minefield challenge is they all go at the same time. I honestly don't know what's going on. I have no idea who's really in the lead. They kind of try to show it with captions at the bottom. But that's my issue with a lot of the newer challenges is they all compete at the exact same time. But back in the day when they competed individually, it was so much more entertaining because you could focus on one team at a time and what they were doing. And I wonder if they'll ever get back to that because they really haven't done that. And like even in the ones they have done, they had the two teams competing off the cliff. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I didn't know.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. That definitely happened tonight where there was just a lot of moving parts. And at some point, I felt like they just showed people just to show that they were also there and doing their thing. But it still, all in all, was a good challenge.
For me, it was a good challenge to compete in, not to really watch. I didn't think there was any really drama. Okay.
Until the math part, because that really sealed the deal. Like that made this very funny and
okay. And I actually was able to, and there's also the Anissa thing, so don't think I'm overlooking that. But I wrote down the only math problem that they showed because it was Berna's when she first got there, and I was able to write it down. And I want to see if you can do it. I did it in my head, not to brag, but it was very easy. So can I give you the math problem? I'll do it one by one, and I'll say it out loud to you, and you just give me the answer.
Oh, fuck, Dan,
you're going to do great. It's really, if you break it down, it's really easy.
Okay, all right.
Okay, all right. Ready? 1,000 divided by 5.
It's 200.
You're nailing it. Times 8.
1,600.
You do it. See, you're killing it. Plus 700. So you have 1,600 plus 700.
1,300. 13.
No, you were technically right with 1,300, but you didn't add the number over, so it's actually
1,400.
2,300.
Oh, 2,300.
It's okay. And then you have to minus 50 from 2,300.
So 2,250.
That's it. Okay. That was on a couple of them. It wasn't everyone's. Some other people had other ones, I think, too. But that was the basis of the math. And now you also got to see, Jenna, I don't know if they got chalk or I saw some with mud. But one guy, I don't know who it was, looked like he was writing with actual chalk on the thing. And if you can write down the numbers, I mean.
I think it was probably mud.
I saw the mud too, but another one I swear looked white like chalk. So please, in the comments, tell me if you saw chalk because I feel like I'm going bananas, to quote another cast member.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah.
But Car lives.
Why not? He was on Battle of the Exes. And watch that.
I think with not only the pressure, but the mental fatigue and physical exhaustion, those are all such overwhelming factors to being able to do math in that situation. It's hot out, the sun's in your face. You just did basically, like you said, a 5K Tough Mudder, Ironman, military obstacle course. And now you're looking at these numbers and there's so much pressure on you. Like if I'm Berna and I get there first, I'm like, oh shit, I really want to do this as quickly as possible. But now all I'm thinking about is, I'm so stupid, I can't solve this. What are the numbers? And then you pretty much never solve it. And then you're kicking yourself in the ass.
And that's what comes into being a vet on this team, because you do this on a regular basis. You have that pressure, so you at least know what the pressure feels like. You might not ever be able to just fully forget that the pressure's there. But I think doing it over and over and over again, the consistency of something like that. And you know that CT always says he practices these games on the off season. So at some point, it's the pressure. If you practice a ton, the pressure's got to be less for a lot of these people. So. And
with CT and Berna doing the puzzle, I was looking at CT thinking CT shouldn't be an inspiration for people to work out and be physical specimens, but CT makes me want to practice puzzles. That he's my inspiration to figure out how to be able to put puzzles together.
Especially looking back and watching Battle of the Exes this week, you just see how long CT has been dominating this game. It's incredible. I know he didn't win that season, but I mean, he got second. But, it's incredible how long he's been doing this and why he's so good at it, because he has so much practice in these situations that this daily challenge is like a regular season game. It's not the playoffs, and he just destroyed it without, I bet he didn't even feel pressure. He literally in the confessional, I know it's filmed after, but he's like, I got this, Berna. I'll take it from here. Thank you for remembering how to do 8th grade math, as they made fun of some people tonight. So.
God, I mean, you just saw me fail.
You did
That's not
fine.
saying
You carry the one.
That's not saying anything. But anyway, on the subject of CT, I feel like CT is the case of Benjamin Button. Like I feel like CT is now getting younger. Like he looks amazing.
He got himself back in shape, realizing, hey, if I want to continue my career as a challenger, I have to get back in shape, because there's a couple seasons there he wasn't looking so great.
I know. And not even just being in shape. I just feel like everything about him looks younger. Like his face looks young. His skin looks clear. I don't know. It just looks like he's drinking out of the fountain of youth all of a
Well,
sudden. You want whatever he's having.
A lot of times what happens when you're out of shape, you can get acne from the food that you're eating. If it's unhealthy fast food or ice cream or whatever it is all the time, he's clearly doing something different, a little bit, at least a little bit different with his diet. So maybe his face is becoming more alive again because he's getting rid of all those bad things in his life.
Totally. And his aura too. I just feel like he is putting out such a good, like fun, young, youthful spirit, like looking healthy, acting it.
Sure.
So, and I'm happy to see CT in the power position tonight. I mean, seeing him finally win a daily challenge this competition.
Yeah. I also wanted to bring up though, like, so you were mentioning how like they just kept showing people to show people during the challenge tonight. I also felt that they had a bunch of confessionals the same way. Every person in those confessionals was like, yeah, I'm going to win this thing tonight. Like, I know we're going to win. But like these confessionals are filmed after. So they're all just being little good actors right there, especially Anissa. Anissa comes on to her confession. She's like, oh, I have no doubt in my mind that Logan and I are going to kill this daily challenge today. And then 5 minutes later, she dislocates her shoulder. So clearly Anissa is a good actor because she is acting 100% in those confessionals, because they're obviously filmed like probably could be a month after. They're always in the same outfits, if you notice. So they film like, oh, hey, tell us about this challenge on this day. What were you thinking then? So they film it at chunks at a time.
Yeah, you have to go back in time and put yourself in that very moment again, which is really hard to do.
Right. And Anissa not only put herself back in that time, but she made me believe that she was going to kill this daily challenge. And she dislocated her shoulder. She gets medically DQ'd. Did I not say last week that I thought we would lose more people to medical disqualifications this season? Like, I really think there's going to be like more and that and like fights or something. Like, I don't think everyone's just going to go out in the layer. I'm saying it again just to reiterate it for people that didn't hear us last week. Like, that's another medical DQ. We've had a couple. 3?
He's saying it again because he wants everyone to know that he was right, and you heard it here first, and he had the hottest take on the block.
Well, it's funny because I listen to Anissa and Tori now, because fans in our comments section like, you really need to listen to this podcast. You need to watch more of the aftermath. So I do it, and then I watch Tori and Anissa. Obviously, we film this right after, so I don't listen to them until like I'll probably listen to tomorrow at the gym. And everything they're talking about, you and I like nailed it, because they do a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and you and I were killing it. I'm like, see, we do.
So did a PA go and buy the outfits when they were wearing tutus last year? Is that what we killed?
That wasn't brought up, but there was other things where I was like, oh, wow, you and I, Jenna, last week, like we really dug into like certain things that happened where we just did really good predictions and just really thoughtful things we said. They also said the exact same thing about, like, how they talked about Huey.
We're very humble too. Don't get.
They talked about Huey and how he's kind of you never know with him, but like they use the exact same words we used. It was like, I know it's pretty obvious what he is, but like to use the exact same words as us, I thought was interesting.
Very cool.
So nice. They're clearly watching our show, Jenna. That's what I thought.
Yes. Well, before the challenge day though, there was something that I wanted to mention that I picked up on, and you probably did as well, but it's hard to think back of everything in hindsight because there were so many vignettes before the challenge. But Emmy had said something. She's with Gabo, and she's talking about in her confessional how her and Gabo are not a good partnership. And also she's sad because she's realizing the vets are just picking off the rookies. And I'm sitting there like, well, I just have one thing to say, justice for Michaela. Yeah. You're sad that the vets are picking off the rookies, but you helped them do that to your fellow rookies. So
in a way, Emmy, you you started it, Emmy, didn't you? I mean, I know the vets were going to do it anyways, but did you not give the vets a great reason to throw Michaela in episode 1? By the way, Michaela lives all the way up to episode 5 now. We've mentioned her, so there she goes.
Michaela lives. I know. I'm still on the Michaela thing, and I'm not giving up. I'll probably mention it every single episode. So Michaela lives.
And with Pam being absent, she also wants to mention Michaela. So you're really doing a great job in Pam's absence, keeping that up. Oh, by the way, Pam is on her honeymoon this week, so she could not join us, but that's okay. She has that's important to enjoy that time. Wouldn't it have been nice if her and her husband joined us for the after show?
Could you imagine? They're gonna be wasted at some piano bar right now. And I texted her this week and received no response so far. So she must be very and
right. So we have been texting.
Oh, you've been texting. Okay, I see that I've been exiled from this friendship.
Well, when I say text, I mean
Fessy and Casey, and I'm Josh, and now I realize I need to move on to a new group of people.
And I literally just text the group of us, so you were involved in it, but
because
I said happy honeymoon to Pam in that group text, and but then she didn't respond to us, so that's what I was referring to. So Jen, you've been included in everything, so don't.
So I am like Josh, and I have selective vision, and I'm emotional.
See, there it is. That's what.
So
okay.
He's my challenge spirit animal.
I'm still going to work with you in your alliance, so I'm not.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So back to the daily of the day. It was neck and neck towards the end there with Emmanuel and Casey, who is also a rock star team, and then Berna and CT. Were you rooting for either of the teams at that point? Did you want
always CT? I don't want Casey to win. I don't know why I dislike her so much. I just think she just takes up space where I want someone more entertaining. That's all it is. But anyways, yeah, I was CT all the way. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess I wonder what their power would have done for the politics of the house. I don't know if they would have just followed suit, and if everybody just wants to do the easy thing and Logan wants to volunteer himself.
My conspiracy that Casey would have tried to throw Josh in if they had fought more and then she throws Josh in because they fight more in the show after this challenge. So maybe she throws Josh in, but I bet it's still Gobbo and Logan in the elimination. I bet it's.
Well, that's the sort of stuff, the fun stuff that used to happen on our favorite seasons, like Battle of the Exes. But now their friendships are too close. Their friendships continue outside of the game, so they don't do anything to their friends inside the house unless absolutely necessary. So I don't think Casey would ever throw Josh in, even if he pisses her off, because she feels like he's a brother to her. So
then it would have still been Gobbo and Logan then, most likely. Nothing probably would have changed, but I like a good conspiracy, and I would prefer that she goes and throws Josh in, but then Josh comes back and gets revenge on her. So these are all things I want to happen. We make the show so good, but we can't control how people perform in those situations. However, Aneesa performed badly because she dislocated her. I mean, she's out. She's like literally. She came back. She got sent home right away. Was it weird to see Logan in? Did he keep competing at that point? Because there's no way he can win because the other person has to give him the code to get the last puzzle. So I saw him not sure what to do. Like he should probably just gone to the ambulance with her and hung out with her there, because there's you can't compete without your partner in this one.
Yeah, I don't think at that point she had given him the passcode yet, right?
No. And didn't she have to give him a passcode, or is just one to the other? I don't remember, but yeah, because they each had to give each other a passcode and go get from the other side. So yeah, it sucks what happened to Aneesa. I mean, she took a far fall. And what's crazy too is you talk about the injuries, and last season, most of the injuries came in like person to person combat, for lack of a better word. That's a terrible way to put it. That's so dramatic. But when people are actually going head to head, causing injuries to each other is typically when it happens. But this sucks because she fell from the top of this wall. And it actually was, what I noticed was Nani continues a little bit up the wall and then stops, and she jumps off to try to tend to Aneesa. And it's like, she's still in the competition. She's still fighting for first place. And Aneesa's injury is so bad to her that she even stops what she's doing to help her out. Yeah. Either Nani, there's two things here. Nani either didn't think her team had a chance of winning, or she just is a good person and wanted to help her friend Aneesa. And I think that's more of what it was. Because Aneesa looked like, a dislocated shoulder. Oh God. That's gotta be the most uncomfortable. My sister dislocated both of her shoulders at the same time, which is like the rarest thing ever to happen, but she did it. While she was on the river of my parents' river on a jet ski, she flew off the damn thing. Yeah. Wow. This was like 2 or 3 months ago. You can blame her fiance on this one. He was going too fast, or he was just, maybe it wasn't that bad. I wasn't there, but he was driving and he hit a wave or something, and she's off the back. Oh my God. And landed awkwardly in the water where it popped both of her shoulders out, and they've never
right
seen
now?
something like that. So, or very rare, they said.
Oh,
This is going to be a hot take. People are going to hate that I say this,
oh God.
but you know, I
We love to hate you.
what's that?
I said we love it. We love to hate you.
Am I surprised that it's Anissa that got hurt in this type of challenge? Now, let me throw it at you though. Well, Jen,
You're not wrong, but
climbing up a high thing like that and not being in the best of shape and being a little overweight, and you fall like that awkwardly, someone that's in better shape you're not gonna fall or hurt yourself in that same way. She should not have been up that high. Not in the way that she's built right now. She should not be up that high, and that's a hot take.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I
Okay.
think if you have shitty balance, you could be 90 pounds and you could still fall off the top.
And that's a fair assessment, but she is the one that got hurt and no one else did. So I think it's because she's pulling a lot of weight, trying to get a lot of weight over that, and then she has to somehow balance herself nicely just to fall nicely on the other side. You don't want to just drop down from that top platform. You want to hold your body weight and then go down slowly, unless you think you can just jump off it, but then she's going to freaking break an ankle or something. That was a hot take, and people can comment good or bad in the comment section, but that's just my feeling on it.
Okay.
There you go. Well, good.
It is.
So,
This is a hot take.
do we want to move on to the winner? It's the CT. We just talked about that.
CT and Berna. And at this point, I get a little glimpse of excitement. And I think it's because I'm actually watching Big Brother this year. And it's been really, really good.
Okay.
And I started to get a little glimpse of excitement when Berna and CT won, because I'm thinking like, ooh, like let's make some moves here. Come on, CT and Berna, use your power for some evil, like switch it up. Because I'm thinking of CT as a little bit of the rogue agent, but also like a superior, untouchable veteran. Like, who is really gonna throw CT in? So I'm thinking, CT, do something. It's not as though you need to be scared of people being pissed at you. Coming back with vengeance. Let him want to come back with vengeance against you. But he also, his game these days has been playing into the fact that he's an untouchable veteran, and that comes with playing really super low key. Yes. And not getting any blood on his hands. So, but I was so excited for like such a fleeting moment that something might get shifted around in this game, and that they could actually go for like a really strong veteran, or maybe a stronger rookie versus a veteran. Just switch it up a little bit.
So I won't even respond to it, because you got my response, which is he has to play it low key to stay where he is. Why ruffle any feathers? Because here's my question for you. Who is CT worried about running a final against at this point in his life? Who is it?
Right.
It's Fessy's big. Who cares? The kid can't do puzzles. Devin, he can do puzzles, but he's going to gas out if he has to run 18 miles. Who is he worried about? And the answer is nobody. So why do anything crazy here? However, I also think he didn't make any big moves, because I'm not sure he's 100% happy with his partner Berna from did you watch the Next on the challenge?
Yeah, but
I know you watched that. Pam's the one that doesn't. But they clearly show they're having problems. So I'm wondering if they were already having problems in this episode. They just didn't air it yet. They didn't show any of it. So maybe he was already like, well, why do I want to piss off people? I already don't like my partner. I'm trying to get a new partner possibly. Who's that?
Yeah.
Who?
Could you hear that? I feel like there's somebody on a motorbike outside my window.
Oh, no, I didn't hear it. I just saw you look over there like someone was looking in your window. Ooh.
But you do see that a little bit in the daily today too, that he seems to evidently show he's very obvious with his frustration towards Berna not being able to solve the math problem as quickly as he thinks she should. So maybe there is something looming there, or brewing, I should say.
We're going to find out next week. Next week looks like we'll finally get the Fessy and Josh fight that we've been promised. So that could be nice. All right, so that all happens.
That sucks that it was just one little fleeting moment of there possibly being some big moves in the game, but it ends up just being Logan wanting to go in and Gabo also wanting to go in, because Nani is like the hero female veteran of this season, which is kind of cool. She's been on this show forever. She's never won. I think politically and socially, it's a really, really smart move, because Nani is like a hanger on. Like, she's always there until like right before the finals. So it's really smart to pair up with her so that you stay under the radar. But yeah, all the rookie guys are really wanting to be on her team.
I don't blame them. I think that she's the perfect person to pick because I think that she's also a really nice person to work with. I think that she takes on whoever her partner is and tries to bring out the best in them. Also, Jenna, name another female vet that you prefer to work with over her. I'll give you an example, but I still would prefer Nani. You can have Tori, but I think that she can also rub people the wrong way, where Nani, I feel like she's good. But name another female that you'd rather work with.
No, I agree with you. I think that she's absolutely like the perfect contender for that. And I would want to pick her as well because she's such a supportive partner and she works really well with people. She tries to bring out the best in her partner and actually work with them instead of kind of like be condescending towards them or anything. Like she's personally experienced with Fessy. So I think her being on the receiving end, she knows how to properly communicate and work with her partners. I guess, I mean, you could consider her a vet because she's been on more than one season. I would say Casey is also a great person to work with. I thought Amber B for a minute because I put myself in this exact hypothetical watching the episode. I was like, wow, everyone's really going for Nani, but who else would they go for? And I was thinking Casey or Amber B, but Amber B does have the weakness of the politics and Fessy clearly is targeting her. So
like, I'm not picking Ashley because I don't want to deal with her as a partner. I'm not saying these people aren't good competitors, but I don't want Amanda. I don't want to deal with Amanda. I don't want to deal with Ashley. And then I'm sure we're forgetting about a couple people, but I really think Nani's a fun choice, a good choice. Overall, I'd enjoy being I'd enjoy being partners with her. So there you go.
Yeah, agreed.
Do we want to get into Logan and Big T and this whole
cute? I kind of love it. I love it because I love Big T and I think Logan is very cute to her. And I think it's playful. And I don't think I hope she's not gonna fall in like too head over heels. But I think Logan, from what I can tell, seems like a very respectful guy in the house, not like a traditional reality TV douche, right? Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, he is. I mean, it looks like they did more than just kiss underneath those covers. So he's getting what he wants possibly out of the relationship. What's that?
But she's getting what she wants too.
I think that she likes him more than just the hookup for sure.
Okay.
That's me. That's my prediction for it. I think that he is going to go back to England or wherever he's from. I'm not even sure where. I don't want to say he's
definitely not England. Definitely not England.
Where's he from?
I don't know, but his accent, he has like broken English. It's not.
Oh, yeah. So wherever he's from, he's going to go back there. I mean, that's what I meant. Big T's in England, right?
Yes.
She's in England. Okay. So they're not going to be in England together is my point. So there you go.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? I think he's more focused on the game. And I think she's getting distracted by the idea of a romance growing. And I think that he's there for the game. And I think, this romance is getting in the way of her game.
Well, that's an excellent point. It most likely is.
Maybe Priscilla will tell us next time. Kidding.
What's that?
I said maybe Priscilla will tell us next time.
Come on, tell me
Priscilla. I'm just playing into your joke.
I know, but come on, is she not the narrator of the damn season? That's all she does. She just gives us the talking head moments.
Yeah.
So in the challenge
there's so many people on this season, and like, how are they all going to get airtime?
Someone's bound to not get airtime, and it just happens to be her, and so I give those people a hard time because I think it's hilarious. And
I literally forget Ed is on the show until he's on my screen. There was a moment tonight where it wasn't even his face just yet. They introduced his voice, like his voice came in as like a like a voiceover to transition into his confessional. And I was like, Ed from the heavens. I was like, I forgot this motherfucker was on the show.
Right. But even with Ed, at least he's already been in elimination. They gave him that stupid little dance thing tonight. Like, they gave him like a bit of like, oh, he has dance moves. Like, I still do not know anything about Priscilla. I have no idea, like, one personality trait about this girl. She just talks into the camera. And if someone in the comment section wants to tell me about her personality from what they've seen on the show, good luck to you. There's no way. Oh, she's really friendly. How? How do you know this? Because she talks.
Who he said? Hoo-ha.
That's a challenge for a challenge on the Challenge After Show is tell me about her personality. Okay. Nominations? Yes? No? Yes?
Deliberate. Did we finish the going out tonight?
I mean, if you have anything else about the club, go ahead. They walk down the hall as we know now, but I don't really have anything else to say
Walk
about
down
it.
the hall, Ed, just
Dancing.
Ed. Never change Ed. Dance like no one's watching. You
Right.
already are, so keep doing you. Yeah, I guess there's really nothing else to say there. We talked about the human centipede grind line, and I don't need to relive that moment again.
Oh, okay, I got something for you. Logan, maybe, I'll get the girl perspective here. So Logan describes Big T as an octopus in bed. Please, go ahead. Tell me about that. You don't remember?
I missed that part.
He says to quote him, she's like an octopus in bed. She has tentacles. So she's good at sucking? Is that what he's getting at? I'm wondering.
Wow, that's funny because here I am. I'm thinking like, okay, so she must
maybe she
wrap around him to cuddle.
So there you go. So you thought of the G version. I went the R version. Boom, there it is. Cool. One of the two.
Yes.
Nominations. It's
she's good at sucking.
Well, hey. Gabo and Logan, we kind of discussed how they both want to go in.
Yeah, do we want to talk about how extra Huey gets? I mean, I love me some Huey, but it's very funny that Ashley seemed to have such short patience for Huey when she is literally the female version of Huey. Talk about the theatrics. Like these two are just theatrical and dramatic, standing on chairs, standing on tables, clapping, using their hands, puffing their chests out. I love me some Huey, and I think he's great entertainment and is a great casting decision. I just think he's very defensive because what happens is he explodes so quickly, and this is the same thing Ashley does. As soon as they think one person has even half of an ill opinion about them, they explode and they have to go through like a checklist of why they're a great person. They're very defensive.
Yeah, every week my opinion changes on Huey. Last week I was like, all right, bro, bro, you're doing all right. You're doing okay here. I like how you're performing in the final. And now this week I wrote down in the nomination section here, Huey, give it a rest. Huey's going to cry if he doesn't get his way. Send Huey in. I'm over this kid. I can't even stand him now. I don't know how I can. Some weeks it takes me a couple weeks to go to another side on liking someone or not liking someone. This is like a flip of a page of a book for me. Yeah. I do not like this kid at all. Dude, first of all, you stole the partner first. So he's like, okay, I'm going to go in. I'm going to earn my stripes. I'm going to try to get my partner back. Huey, if you want to hold on to Nani as your partner, then you need to nominate your ass every goddamn week. And then if you win, you can keep her and you can hold on to her. Okay, buddy? But like, it's a freaking fair game. Anyone gets your partner if you're not going into a elimination. I can't stand this kid. I'm over it.
No.
I don't get how he doesn't know the rules. Like, dude, it's a game.
He was completely irrational when Gabo brought it up to him because Huey's saying, I thought we were friends and now you want my partner. And Gabo's like, we were friends when you took my partner.
That's it.
I'm friends with you. It's part of the game. I mean, there was just no reason for it at all. He has tunnel vision. And again, I think it comes back to him being over protective of himself and over defensive. So I think he's always just trying to prove that he's right or not a bad person. But it just is like, you just did the same move. I don't know.
I was expecting him. I mean, he kept climbing the chair onto the table. I expected his next move to like stomp his feet or like get onto his belly and hit his hands on the table like a child. Like, it's like, dude, what are you doing? You're killing me. And spoiler alert, Jenna, he loses his partner no matter what at the end of this thing.
I know. That was, yeah. I didn't know which direction Logan was going to go with it. But when he did, this didn't happen audibly, but in my notes section on my phone, I put, ha.
Yeah. It's sweet, sweet karma. And I may have I wrote down, ha ha. Ha ha, Huey, right there, ha ha. I actually wrote down your audible ha ha. Or your non-audible in your head ha ha.
In my head, ha. Like, when they show the memes of it being like your friend texts you something funny, oh my God, I'm literally dead. I'm dying. LMAO.
But you're not actually laughing.
That's
Exactly.
exactly what happened.
I
The
always think
elimination.
when people are talking with someone and say, "Oh, funny thing about that," and then they tell a story that's not funny. I'm like, "Well, why did you say funny thing about that? Why are you?"
I always do
They
that.
do it.
Funny you should say that. Here's actually a very traumatic, not funny story
Well,
connected.
then that's yeah. Well, what's funny about that is that I was walking my dog down the street
Yeah.
to the bathroom, and then I brought him inside. How's that funny? People do it all the time in conversation. Because I listen to talking heads all day on different podcasts, a lot of sports podcasts. And
I thought you meant the Talking Heads. And I was like, oh, did they put that in one of their songs?
yeah, apparently they have a podcast on the side when they're not doing music. Okay, what are we up to now?
Elimination.
Logan San Pedro. He's the compromise agent. Now we know his last name. He mentioned it 3 times for us tonight. He wanted to let us know. I don't know why. He just kept referring to himself in the full name, with the full name there. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I think something that I've noticed is it's incredible how many of these competitors are from different countries and they must have learned English early on in their lives. And I know we try to do that here as well, but I've taken Spanish in 2nd grade, and can I form a sentence? Absolutely fucking not. So I'm just like bowing down to everybody for learning multiple languages and articulating everything as best as they can. Like, they're doing a kick-ass job just trying to be in this American competition show and keep up with even like the language and the cultural differences.
Yeah. I have a bunch of things that I always say I want to be able to do. And one is to play chess, can't do it. Play guitar, can't do it. And speak a second language fluently. I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to accomplish any of those things. And it's kind of sad, but.
Oh, well, not with an attitude like that, you won't.
Yeah, I know. Well, I just spend so much time on these podcasts with you. I don't have time to sit around and yeah. Right. Yeah, I really want to be able to do all 3 of them. But speaking of, I would love, I think out of those 3, I'd still pick speaking Spanish fluently as my, because I took it, like you did, I took it in high school as well.
So it sounds like what we need to do is watch the Jersey Shore in Spanish. Because I could probably recite the episodes as they are anyway. So if I just listen to it in Spanish, then that way I should learn.
Hey,
I'll definitely learn how to say dirty little hamster in Spanish. Right. And you're like the Staten Island Ferry in Spanish. These are all very important phrases for when I one day go to Spanish.
I know you're obsessed with Jersey Shore, but I know. But I don't know if you realize that I'm super obsessed with Jersey Shore as well. And I gotta get your opinion on, how do you feel about these reunion shows that they're doing?
I haven't watched them.
Oh, well, okay. Well, you're not missing much, because I was going to say they're not.
I don't think
very good.
They don't really count in the whole. I'm talking about Jersey Shore as the collection. Of
course. And I've watched the original 5 seasons of the Jersey Shore probably 10 times a piece. I love them all. Though my least favorite might be when they go to Italy, because the Situation is my favorite character. And he's really hurting. He's really hurting during that season, where I think he was addicted. Was he addicted to pills? He's not in a good place at that point.
Huh? Bad season, but we got collarbone situation.
No, we got a meme.
Like my favorite Halloween costume of all time situation, wearing the collarbone brace.
Yeah. He needed the neck brace very badly.
Neck brace, yeah. Okay, so back to the challenge.
Oh yeah, we took another side. Oh, you mean do you want to talk about Outer Banks? Sure, you don't want to talk about Outer Banks next? Okay. Anyways, so we're going in. Gabo's putting on cologne, getting ready for this. Do you see him put on cologne?
You can't smell. You can't win an elimination if you smell.
Is that a true statement?
Yes, that's fact.
Please comment in the section below if you believe that is true or false.
The more you know.
Yeah, so
what do you think about the elimination? Overall, the game.
It was kind of cool. I knew it would be too hard if they actually had to climb down the rope as well. They obviously were on the bungees and they're being lowly set back down to earth there. I thought it was okay. kind of rooting for Gabo just because everyone underestimated him so badly. Even himself, he's like, I just got to prove that I don't have popcorn muscles. I just want to prove that I can do basic math. But the poor guy can't. I mean, he's being honest. But I mean, he did look jacked out of his mind when he did the muscles at the end. Like he was like, okay, this is a big dude.
Yeah, his stamina and his muscles definitely were great and top notch. I really liked the game, actually. I thought that the memorizing of the puzzle pieces with the amount of reps that they would have to go up and down was really good, because it had like a progression of thinking Logan was just going to kick ass, but you realize this was a lot harder than him, and this was a lot more fatiguing on a normal person's muscles than you would imagine. I think Gabo definitely had like maybe superior upper body strength in this, so that's why he didn't get as gassed out. So it was good to see, the different paces, and it actually was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. And towards the end, I think I didn't know who I wanted to win. I think Gabo was actually a sweetheart, and I think that he's like really innocent and nice, so I would have been fine for him to stick around. But I think Logan actually could be a really good competitor, and hopefully he doesn't fall victim to being a rookie and the vets just ganging up on him, because I think that he could be a good, well-rounded competitor.
So Devin made a great point during the elimination. He yelled to Logan. He said, Logan, when you get up there, check your work, right? So in theory, you get up there, you already have like a line of those symbols down there. You get up there, you look at the line you already have down there, you double check it. Yes, it's good. Double check good. And then you start memorizing more. And I think that's the strategy to beat that game very quickly. And I don't know if Logan ever took that advice, but that would have been the way to do it for sure.
I think this is also one of these games that it looks like it'd be so easy, especially when you're looking at the patterns and the shapes with them. And you're like, oh, there's the sideways triangle, circle, compass, plus, square. But you're not them. They're up there. They have all this anxiety and pressure, and you need to be mentally strong. So that's a talent, and you should be if you're on the challenge. But they're up there, they're looking at it, and then they have to go back down to the pit. And then what if they just draw a blank? What if they were so sure when they were up there that it was square, compass, circle, triangle, whatever, and then they get down, they're like, fuck, I don't even remember what I looked at.
You take a breath and you go right back up. That's the only thing you can. I wouldn't recommend putting anything on that palette until you think that is correct, because it's gonna confuse your brain even more, seeing ones that aren't supposed to be up there. If there's one that wasn't right, like, oh, I messed up that one, that's fine. But if you mess up like 3 or 4, you're like, okay, now I got to memorize new stuff and also fix the old stuff I already messed up. Game over. I
think you just have to take that extra second to really like be intentional and memorize what you're looking at. Cause I do it all the time. If I'm looking at numbers, if someone's like, oh, you need to call this phone number, I'm like, okay, yeah, walk away. Like, why did I think that I was going to remember it just by looking at it for half a second? Like, I didn't even allow it to register for a second. And I think that's what I mean by watching it on TV. It seems like, oh yeah, you just go up there and it's like square, triangle. Okay, great. And then you go down and you realize, oh, I thought I had it. It seems so easy to remember when I was looking at it, because yes, you're looking at it, but then you realize how quickly that memory fades as soon as it's out of sight. So that's why it makes it tricky.
Yeah, I think we would be doing a disservice tonight if we did not mention the payoff that didn't happen. Do you remember? It was huge.
The girls. I mean, I knew that was going to happen.
Really? Because I thought finally we were going to get the payoff. Now, if this is building to a bigger payoff later, where TJ does one of those things right before commercial break and actually goes through with it, then I'm okay with it. But this is the second time this season now, Jenna, that they've done that thing where they said, well, hey, girls, I hope that you didn't get too comfortable. Go to commercial break, come back, and then not put the girls in or not put the boys in.
So gotcha journalism. They gotcha.
I'm getting a little sick of it, Jenna. I'm a little upset.
You got. I got with the whole, I thought that they were really jammed at a club in Croatia when they were just down the hallway, and you got by thinking that the cliffhanger was going to be real.
Well, what got me with this one, Jenna, is that Nani specifically mentions to maybe Logan or Gabo in the club, hey, it's going to be a dude's elimination because Anissa went home, right? Yeah, in the club. And then also CT says in the nomination, it's going to be guys tonight, girls, so you have nothing to worry about. Isn't this the time to pay that off? And you gave us 2 things where we're expecting them to put girls down there, and they're just missing the boat on some of this stuff. I don't understand why they don't go through with that stuff. Who cares if you were expecting to send in 2 teams anyway, so why not send in 2? I get the numbers are off. The numbers will be off if you send in 2 more girls. But then just let that person be single for the next. They did it all last season. They'll let the numbers be guy and girl off. I think they're missing an opportunity there.
Yeah,
really
I don't know.
You get us excited.
I don't know if you can do that though. I know they did it last year, but didn't it suck when that happened? I think it's important to keep it even. And the girls got lucky, absolutely, and they should count their blessings. But I do think you probably have to keep the teams even. But in a dream hypothetical, who would you have hoped to be sent down in terms of the female players?
Well, wait. See, I think we should ask the question, who do we think CT and Berna would have sent down? Because that's easier to do. Who I hoped, it doesn't matter, but who we think, I think, is the bigger question. Who do you think the 2 girls would be? Because I think it's going to be rookies. I think you're going to easily go with Emmy, because Emmy's already with Gabo, and it's easy not to ruffle any feathers. So I think Emmy would have been down there. And then you got a number of girls. You can go with Priscilla, who, the narrator of the year. You can put her down there. You can put down...
It probably maybe would have been Bettina.
There you go. But I mean, we're trying to think of what girls, because most of the other
pretty gracefully, and she probably wouldn't have put up a big fight if her name was said. I think Esther is a great competitor, but I don't know if they would have taken that shot on her because she probably would have come back.
Well, who's she? And she's partnered with Fessy. I don't know if they mind pissing off Fessy, so maybe they do throw her down there. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on if they want to be bold. I think that would be a power move because I think that she is probably the best. She is the best rookie. Well, actually, Berna's really good too. So I think Berna and Esther are the best rookies that are at least at the top of my head right now.
Well,
so yeah, but they probably wouldn't have gone for her because she was too good.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so Logan wins. I'm not sure how close it really was. I can't tell with the edits, to be honest with you. It looked like they both had full palettes, but I honestly don't know how many Gabo had right or wrong. What they used to do, Jenna, and they did this on Battle of the X's, they would mark which ones were right and which ones wrong with the red markings, and it made it so much easier for us to understand who was winning, who was losing, how close it actually was. But they take that stuff away from us now, and I think they do it because Gabo probably had 1 red on that whole damn ballot. They're like, well, this is going to sound close.
Oh, that's so funny. Maybe. Or I'm thinking it's because they're 1.5 hour long episodes where before they were an hour and they're pumping out so much content. I wonder if they don't have enough time in post-production to do all that.
I really don't think,
I don't know.
Their editing has got to be more, it's got to be better editing than they used to have. That was 10 years ago. They've got to have better equipment to be doing these quick edits and this big turnaround, all these turnarounds. So Logan wins by a lot, a little. Tell us in the comments section what you think he won by, because literally, I have no idea. And
when Logan got it wrong twice in a row, I really was like, do you think Gabo is gonna pull this out?
When I didn't going into that elimination, I didn't really care who won, Jenna. So I like to root for the underdog. And by the end, Gabo was clearly the underdog because he was behind the thing. So I was 100% waiting for TJ to get mad at Logan and say, look, you keep just switching one piece. You need to go back up. Stop doing that. Because TJ did tell him to go back up, but he just kept turning and turning and turning. And then finally went up there. He had one piece off. He realized he had to turn it one more time and it was over. But I was really hoping, I wanted Gabo to pull it off at the end. So, yeah.
Sad. Do you think we'll see him again?
No.
I don't know if we will either.
He has no, it's because, yeah, we think he's a nice enough guy, but he's clearly not, he's not very smart. All right. And that's not even saying about his speaking English. He said he was getting he seemed like he was getting super confused on the math, where he didn't even get past it. He just sat there the rest of the time. And I count on my fingers too, but he literally was, personality wise, they tried to play into his dumb jock thing, but they can only take it so far because his storyline ended very quickly.
It worked for me because I appreciated it and I thought that it was adorable and I love his Jersey Shore-ness. So it worked for me that I enjoyed him enough. But yeah, I just don't think his intellect is enough to make him a good enough threat, an entertaining enough threat. And as much as we love, like, you know, the dumb jocks as well, I really want more well-rounded.
We need these people to create sound bites that people want to listen to, and he gave us the sound
Or
bite.
just be smart. I just want more like political, social minds.
Yeah, but the sound bite he gave us was Good Vibes and Gladiator. So he likes good vibes.
No, he said, I hope situation is praying for me.
Okay. And he did give, my arms aren't getting tired, they're just getting pumped. I love that line.
Actually, sorry, his situation line was even better because he said, Mike, the situation, listen to my praying. I love.
It was great. Yes, it's better than mine, but yeah, it was. And Mike, who's your favorite cast member on the Jersey Shore?
I just
you don't have one.
You can't even ask me that. Like when I think about Jersey Shore, it just is like, it truly is a collection of time that should just stay in that time.
Oh, for sure.
Like the things that they would say are just so wrong and inappropriate, but like we're so funny at that time.
So Jenna.
So it's just like
a lot of them are still funny, Jenna. A lot of them are still funny.
Situation, the things he would say and the way he acted was just like mind-boggling. Like it truly was like, wow, this dude. So in terms of characters, God, I don't know if the show would have been what it was without him, but you could say that for all of them, you know, same thing with Snooki or Polly or Vinny.
Well, I think early on after season 2, I believed him and Snooki got the biggest paydays.
Yeah.
They weren't getting paid the same amount. And I believe Mike and Snooki had the biggest payday after season 2. Because season 1, they weren't making any money. And literally Vinny was running out of money, and this is so side handle here, but he actually had to go home. He missed his family, but he also thought he was gonna have to go home because he was running out of money. He didn't have enough money to actually go out every night and stuff. The stipend they were making was nothing.
I'm just dying thinking about one situation called Angelina Dirty Little Hamster.
Well, I mean, it makes me laugh still, so.
If you've made it this far and you've listened to all of our Jersey Shore, please hashtag Dirty Little Hamster. And
we would love that.
I'll be so happy.
So Logan is with Nani now. Huey is now with Emmy. 2 rookies together again. Jenna, can we assume that that's next week's elimination?
Never.
Wow. I believe they'll be in there, and I hope, though, that who they go in against is possibly a vet, because we saw Josh and Fessy arguing. Maybe somehow one of them won the daily and they could throw in the other guy. That could really spice things up a little bit. I don't know. But, yeah. Any predictions?
Yeah, well, no, I have no predictions, and I don't want to because I don't want to get my hopes up, and I don't want to believe something that is lame and is not what the teaser has promised us. So I just got to ride the wave. Just going to enjoy. Remember, like I said, my goal with this season, and hopefully the season to come, is I'm just going to take a step back, just enjoy the show, stop trying to be so hyper negative to all the little things that maybe weren't what they were in 2012. Whatever.
Yeah.
The 2000s time. So.
And I'll add that to the show. I'll be that guy for us. So that's no problem.
Okay.
I don't mind. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for episode 5 of the challenge, Spies, Lies, and Allies. Good Vibes and Gladiator. We're going to say goodbye to Gabbo. It was time for him to go. Gabbo's got to go. And yeah, but we'll see you guys all next week. And don't forget to hop on our Patreon at The Challenge Aftershow, because we're going to be putting some stuff up there. And we don't even want to tell you what it is. Just act surprised and don't.
That's because we don't know what it is.
That would be exactly why, Jenna, but way to give them a peek behind the curtain. Bye, everyone.
Dirty little hamsters.